All right, so we are live. What's up, Abby? How you feeling?
Hey, it's Wednesday. Hello, everyone. I'm doing good. How are you?
Amazing.
That's good.
Just
Happy
literally, yeah.
Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Yeah, literally just got off the plane, right, and had to go stop by in a random hotel in their lobby to get some Wi-Fi, so we can get the show going. So now I don't know. Okay, yeah. So how about you? How's your week been?
Um, I've been doing good. As you guys can see, both of us are not at our destined place, right?
Yeah. Wait, where are you at?
I'm literally getting ready to drive to Atlanta, drive baby girl at Spelman.
Come
So
on.
both of
No,
us are
no.
not
Is this her freshman year?
sophomore.
Sophomore year? Does she enjoy it or what?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can't talk her out of it because I've tried.
Come on. Yeah, I wish I could go back to my college days. Those were we had some good times in college at
Oh yes,
Tuskegee. We had some good times.
we did. We did.
Well, we got
So
we got an exciting show coming up tonight, guys. So I'm excited about it. So I'm Christopher Bush, your financial advisor.
I'm Abby Joseph, your tax strategist, and welcome to another episode of Redline. Victor, bring us in.
That's 100. That's 100.
Boom. We ready?
Yes, we are.
You said thought the guys to see me natural, right? To comment about your hair, look, because you always have it done up.
Always have it done up. Hey, sometimes you just gotta let it be.
You gotta let it be. Good stuff. Now I don't know if they can see our guests. Can they see your guests? Or they probably can. Can y'all see Kylie? I don't think we hear them.
Yes, they can see Kylie. They can
Oh,
see
okay.
Kylie.
So I guess we didn't introduce him, but I thought we were gonna bring him on, but I didn't realize that you were actually on the screen, right? So we got a special guest tonight for a couple reasons. Number one, this is pretty much one of my longtime friend. I guess, man, Kylie, it's been shoots. When did we meet? We probably met in 2000, at least 2009, right? 2008, 2009. About 15 years.
Yep.
So we've been real close, but I'm really excited for you guys to hear his story and how we're going to incorporate it tonight. So he'll tell you a little bit about his background here in a second, but runs a fintech company called SpenDebt that we'll talk about tonight. But we got a lot of other surprises because I think his story of what he's been able to do, because here on our show we talk a lot about how to start a business, what options that you have, how does that integrate with your financial situation. And tonight I just want to be able to bring him on and just share his story, and we'll kind of I don't know where the night's going to take us, but we'll see. We'll make it happen.
Yes. So Kylie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Gotta find that mute button. Fun fact: did y'all know that was the number one phrase in the pandemic? You're on mute. That was the number one phrase in the pandemic.
I didn't think about that. You on mute. I like that.
Yeah. But anyway, man, I am elated to be here. Thank you, Abby. Always good to be on with President Bush, Hot Boy Bush. I don't know. He's a financial advisor, so let me just keep it.
Wait, Hot Boy Bush. Wait,
that's a whole other time.
That's a whole. Hey, look, Abby. That's a whole. Look. See, this when you can't bring friends on the show. Because they tell too much about your business, right?
It's after 7. But anyway, man, thank you guys for having me. Again, I'm Kiley Summers, the founder of SpenDebt. And look, as Bush mentioned, man, it's been a long time coming. But I met Bush. I gotta say this because I met Bush at a time where I was in over my head with consumer debt. Both my then girlfriend, now wife. They actually met first. And it was an important time in my life when I met him because he was just getting started as a financial advisor. We were struggling financially, but I'm going to bag up the story because it's got to align. I'm originally from St. Louis, born and raised. I come from a single parent home. I watched my mom, rob Peter to pay Paul to make ends meet. Look, she ran her leg of the marathon to pass the baton to me. And I got the baton and I became a first generation college graduate. Now, it is a celebratory moment when you become the first, but it comes with a price tag, right? Because you got to do everything for the first time. So yeah, it is a celebration, but it is also work on the other side. And a part of becoming the first, you got to go buy that first car, you got to go buy the house, the first, like all of that stuff. Look, a year after we graduated from college, my wife and I found ourselves in over $140,000+ of consumer debt. And at that moment, we began to think about how we both were brought up and how we came from single parent homes. We knew if we didn't do nothing about it, we didn't do anything about it, we were going to relive our parents' generation. And that just wasn't in the cards, right? Our folks worked too hard to get us in that position. And so we couldn't let them down, and we couldn't let ourselves down as well. And so at that moment, we had a lifeline in Christopher Bush, and I will always love him for this. He taught me everything financial education. He taught me financial education. He taught me, really how to think about not only how to get out of debt, but he taught me how to create wealth. But the first step was overcoming that first obstacle, was really just getting control of the finances. And so he was early part of that strategy. And he didn't pay me to say none of this tonight. I promise he didn't.
I was going to ask.
No, this real talk. This is I could bring my wife home to validate, confirm.
But what he did is like 2009. So a lot of people think I've just just now been doing all this stuff but this has been since 2009, I think 2008.
Yeah, very early on. So anyway, he helped us align on a strategy called the snowball method. If you're familiar with that or not familiar with it, I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's basically aligning all of your debts from the smallest one to the largest one, paying the minimums on the second one down to the last one. And every bit extra you have in your purse, your wallet, in between the couch, in the bank account, you put on that first consumer debt. And what you want to do is you want to help create the snowball effect. And so when you pay that first debt off, it's not, hey, go buy a new shirt. It's to parlay that into that second debt, right? And you want to create that bigger snowball, the bigger amount of that payment to get to that second and third or fourth until you become debt free. That is the strategy he showed us about. He taught us, he walked us through, and we executed on it. It took us 7.5 years. No fault of Kristen at all, but that was just our story. We wasn't perfect with it by no stretch of the imagination, but he got us in position. Not only did he help us become debt free, but he also helped us buy life insurance. And we got life insurance for ourselves. I got life insurance for my mom. And then we had a kiddo in 15, got life insurance for the baby. But that's not it. He helped us now begin to invest. And so this was all a part of the financial strategy. And why am I saying this? Because I come from first generation, didn't know anything about this. My mom didn't know nothing about it. She was robbing Peter to pay Paul. I didn't have nobody that I can look up to. My peer was cutting his teeth in the industry, and I was struggling in it, right? And so he helped me put that strategy together, help me execute it, and now position us to create wealth for our family. And so through the story of just becoming debt free, we realized it was other family and friends struggling with consumer debt, but we wanted to help them. And so God planted this idea in my head to help people spend money and pay off debt at the same time. Sounds like an oxymoron. It sounds crazy, but I'm telling you it works. In case in point, most banks have what they call a spend and save platform, meaning you can buy something for $1.50. It's going to round up to $2 and take that 50 cents and put it into a savings account, right? But most people just take the money out the savings and put it back in the check, and they do the same thing over and over again, right? So really don't create the impact that it was designed to create. Another company that you guys may be familiar with allows you to spend and invest. Same concept, round up, take the 50 cents and put it into an investment account. And you can pull that money out whenever you see fit. But at the time, we wanted to create a third category and help people spend and pay off debt. But we didn't want to use roundups. We wanted to create an opportunity for people to define what that micro payment is every time they swipe their debit card, every time they had a banking transaction. We wanted them to define it. And so the consumer has control of that. And you know what it is every time you swipe the debit card. You know what it is when you press it, purchase on Amazon. It's $1 coming out. You can do the mental accounting. And so that's what we did. We launched a company called SpenDebt, and it's designed to assist people to pay off debt, leveraging small micro payments every time you swipe your debit card or have a banking transaction. That is, I'm gonna stop here because I can keep going on, but I know we have to have a conversation. But this is what we created on the heels of us gaining control of our finances. I gotta say one more thing. If I never became in control of the finances, or if I never became debt free, I would have never had the opportunity to unlock this entrepreneurial journey. So I'm not sure who this is for. I'm not sure who is out there. I'm not sure where you are in your finances or your financial journey, but find out where you are, draw a line in the sand today and go get the financial advisor, whether it's Chris or somebody else. Go talk to somebody, line that thing up and begin to focus in on it, because it may not even be for you. It could be for your kids. It could be for your parents. It could be for, somebody else. If you don't do it for yourself, do it for them. If you don't do it for them, do it for yourself. But let's talk.
Yeah, come on. Amazing intro on that story. And I guess I don't want to be biased, but because I know you, I want to give Abby a chance to, kind of talk real quick to see if she has any comments before I go in, just because I know where his story is and what I can bring out. So Abby, you have anything?
I'm astonished. I love the idea of SpenDebt. So when I think especially with our young college students, or even when I graduated, right, with over $120,000 worth of student loans, how would that work with let's just use my daughter for an example, Kiley. Let's say she finished school and we're looking at $150,000, $200,000 worth of student loans. How would SpenDebt helps her with the concept of getting rid of your debt, right, while you invest?
So great question, and I appreciate it. I think let's level set for a second, Abby. Yeah. Most people have a large number of debt. You had 120, I had 140, what have you, right? Mm-hmm. But if you begin to break that debt down, it's not just one debt. Typically, the largest is going to be that student loan. It's going to be that mortgage. It's going to be that car. But typically, it's a aggregate of all of those debts, right? And there's different levels to them. You may have something for 500, 2,000, 5,000, 15, and 50,000, right? Mm-hmm. And so our concept works well as a standalone or in conjunction with what you already paying with your minimum payments, right? So remember about the snowball I talked about, how you got to go find all that little extra money. Well, in this case, you ain't got to find it. We're going to use it because it's already in that bank account. So you're going to add that extra dollar every time you go to Starbucks, right? And let me take a pause right here to really explain how it works. Okay. So a user comes to our platform, they create a profile, which we call the know your customer information, your name, phone number, email address, right? The second step is you link the bank account that you want to pay from, such as your Chase check-ins account. Yeah. The third step is you tell us the debt account you want to pay. Hey, I want to pay them student loans, man. I really want to get rid of them because, as they say, Uncle Joe ain't coming through for us. We're going to have to pay him here soon, right? Mm-hmm. Or let me say it right. President Joe Biden, look like it's not going to confirm that he's going to, write off our student loan debt. Mm-hmm. The last step is you define that micropayment. That's what you want to add to every transaction that you have. Call it $1 for today's example. And that's it. It's a set it and forget it platform. So now when Eric, he goes to Starbucks to buy that sophisticated latte every day before he get into the office, he spent $5 on that latte, but automatically $1 is added to that transaction. $5 will go to Starbucks, $1 will go towards Eric's student loan debt. And over the course of a month, we aggregate all of those transactions into a one-time payment on behalf of Eric automatically to pay down that student loan debt, right? And that is how we work that thing down, right? We didn't get into debt overnight, and we ain't gonna get out of overnight. But what I can promise you though, if you're taking that step, one step at a time, you will get further and farther down that road of paying it off if you never took no step at all. So you got to take the step. Small payments, you ain't gonna feel it. It's an affordable way to work down that debt. So long story, long win to get to the answer, but hopefully you understand it a little bit more.
Oh, no, I love it. So now I know you use the idea of Starbucks. Would it would we be able to use it in any expense? Like, so let's just say for today, I went to Publix, I went to Starbucks, I went to Target. Oh Lord, I went to Costco. Yep. So all that expense, right? So if I had scheduled it to where, okay, take $5 out of all expense, then in that 30 days, that $5 adds up.
Say that.
Yeah.
And
when you, I guess when you think about it too, a lot of, like when I do consultations with clients, right? If a client doesn't have like a high amount of income, or even if they do have a high income, right? I think the biggest thing is like sometimes they don't like a big lump sum of a bill to come out. Like, hey, look, I want to contribute $100 a month on the 15th extra towards a particular payment. But we understand that we'll always swipe the card, 50 to 100 times a month, right? If you go look at your transactions in your bank, start to pay attention. How many times do I swipe? Right. So when you swipe that many times, if you start to add $1, even $2, $3, hey, you can say, hey, look, I want to add $5 to every single swipe. So by the end of the month, you can be you contributing $300 a month, but you necessarily would not have realized it because it all comes out in smaller payments. And I guess to me, that's what I like about it. And again, Kiley, we haven't talked about it, but not just, Abby from a SpenDebt perspective or paying down debt, but in a situation for me, right? So I've used this product, right? I love it. I'm a client. But so now I'm in a position where, okay, well, I normally invest. So now the platform can be switched to where now instead of it having to pay off a student loan or a debt, right, that same micro payments can be funded any type of investment account, right? Versus another company, I guess we don't have to say names, but it only can invest in investment accounts that they have. But see, now with his platform, you can invest in any type of app. It can be Fidelity, it can be E-Trade, it can be TD. It's whatever platform that you want to send money to, his platform can do it. And I guess that's what I'm so excited about in the trajectory where he's going. It's just 100% really cool.
So take me to this place where, okay, that if I really think about it, right, $5 a day, $300 a month, that's $3,600 a year that is going towards that debt. Now I'm done paying that debt. Let's use that same $500 a day, $300, a month, $3,600 a year. I'm investing that. That's right? Is that what I'm?
That's exactly what you. So we call it at the macro level and how we think about the business. We're moving people from debt elimination to wealth creation. The average person swipes a debit card 70 times a month, right? Mm-hmm. That's how many transactions we're having, 70 times a month, right? So Bush was on point, 50 to 100. The other statistic I want to lay on folks, speaking I'm Black, I'm African American, look like y'all are too, right? So I think the latest buying power statistic was $1.7 billion that we have as a community, right? 1.7. Think about this, and I'm not, putting everybody in a bucket, but I just want to use a stat. If we allocated that towards becoming more financially stable, i.e., becoming debt-free, what about now then that snowball swing to creating wealth, buying assets, right? Then as a community, now it looks different. It feels different, right? And so that is at a macro level, my contributions or our contributions as a company to the world for our community is to change that. And it just takes small micropayments. We ain't trying to break the thing, right? We're going to work with what we have, but this is why this platform is so important, because we can educate. We have a tax strategist, we have a financial advisor, and we have some crazy guy from St. Louis with an app that now can share a tool that can do this and it happens in the background, right? And it works with people, not against people. So anyway, there he is.
I mean, I love it. I know you guys have questions too. So please ask Kiley as we continue, because I know. Listen, these people that I've been budgeting this whole year. Budget. That is an amazing way to start off, right? The first place of budgeting is getting rid of debt. And I think SpenDebt is an amazing way of getting rid of all these debts, so then we can be in position to invest, because people think it's wonderful. Yes, I can trade, or yes, I can invest, but what is it that you need in order to do these things? It's called capital. So we need to start building capital, right, in order for us to invest.
It's a lot. I mean, again, like one thing I love, it's not a cap. Is there a cap on how much you can put towards per transaction, Kiley?
We cap it at $25, but that is
so that means every time you swipe, you add $25 on every card, on every swipe. So yeah, so I think I think we did an illustration on one client, just doing, like I said, $10 per transaction, right? And it's just amazing on what that can do if you say, okay, well, I have enough money, I'm not really in debt, but still, if you use the concept, I think it works, right? Mm-hmm. But Kiley, I want to switch gears real quick, because I really want people to kind of hear your story when it comes to building your company. Okay. For you, building a company, you were electrical engineer, right? You was an electrical engineer, quit your job in 2015, quit your job, right? But what I want you to talk about real quick is people that have a company or understanding how to build a business. One of the ways that I'm really excited about your story is that you've been able to really fund your company on how you built your technology, you built your lifestyle, being able to stay home, be able to be with your family, be with the kids, have a life. I want you to talk about that, but you've been able to do that by winning, a series of pitch competitions. I think you probably won close to $250,000, guys, from pitch competitions that he's won, right? And typically that's not money that you got to put up, right? That's just money from you presenting your product out there. And you said you about $250,000 that you've made from pitch competitions since you've been in business that has helped you. Can you kind of talk us and walk us through that story and a little bit? I think that's awesome, man.
Man, I appreciate it. And every time I think about it, it is man, I am proud of where we are. I'm proud of what we have accomplished. But I will say, and it's no secret if you understand kind of the wealth in this world and the investments of venture capitals to people of color, it is abysmal. It is abysmal. And I'm gonna give the stat, and then I'm gonna jump into answering Bush's question. February 2020 to February 2021, there was 11,790 companies that were invested in. And let me give you the dollar amount that was invested into those 11,790 companies. It was $288 billion with a B. How many of them were Black? And this is not a black and white issue, but I just want to paint the picture to set up what Bush just talked about. Only 1.3% of them received that $288 billion. 1.3%. And so understand that when you go pitch an investor or angel, whatever, family office, the capital, it's rarely coming to people that look like us. So what did that mean for me? And at the time, I didn't even know this, but I just know it wasn't a lot of people that I can go talk to about what I was building, because at the time it wasn't happening. I live in Houston. We didn't have an ecosystem. Our ecosystem has come a long way, but a part of my journey was like I had to get in pitch competitions. And the very first pitch competition I was in, it was the Miller Lite Tap the Future business plan competition. And it was sponsored by Miller Coors here in Houston. It was a national pitch competition. And the semi-final round was $20,000. the final round, if you won the whole thing, the national competition, it was $200,000. That was my first time ever pitching. We was downtown Houston on the big stage. It was 6 different locations that had this across the country. Houston was one of them. I made top 5. I didn't win this competition, but I'm gonna set it up to let you know why I'm mentioning this. I didn't win, but I got a chance to meet Damon John and a host of everybody else. It was amazing. I didn't know my pitch as well as I do now. It was a learning experience. So again, I don't know who I'm talking to. You got this idea on paper, or you may have been in business for 10 years and you just ain't got that value proposition down to 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10, whatever it is. You gotta orchestrate your pitch, because that pitch competition set the tone for me to move on into others. The next pitch competition I was in was a local pitch competition to Houston. It was for $10,000. Because I had the experience, because I worked on that value proposition, because I worked on trying to sell the audience on what I was building and trying to get their buy-in, I was prepared. And we got 10,000. The next thing you know, we was pitching for another 8,000. Then the next thing you know, we were pitching for 25, and it just snowballed. I've pitched in Houston, Silicon Valley, DC, Minneapolis, St. Louis. I didn't pitch New York, everywhere. Atlanta, if you had a pitch competition, we probably put our name in the hat. And this is important. When you're in business, it's this thing that we all love to say, man, I know such and such, or he knows such and such. That is a good thing, right? You want to know people, but I think the better thing to understand here is you want people to know you, right? It's good for you to know people, but it's better for people to know you. Here's why. Because I was able to win or be in these pitch competitions, I know everybody's not going to win, right? But it set up so many different things. Just by me getting on stage, it set up so many different things. It got me into some rooms that I probably would have never got in. You know, I'm backstage with Damon John. That was the first pitch competition I ever had. And I later applied to be on Shark Tank, and that's a whole nother deal. It got me, to meet and have a CFO of a BBVA bank, it's PNC Bank at the time. He became our advisor of our business because we put our name in the hat. I can go on and on. My point here is, if you have a business, you got to be able to get in front of people. You got to be able to sell their value proposition. And you got to be able to tell people what you do in less than, an elevator ride up. And it's important because, one, you got to know your business, but 2, you need capital, right? But you need tech. You may need talent. Mm-hmm. Or you may need an advisor, right? You need these things. But if you can't articulate that message, you can't get on stage and demonstrate what you're building. How can people join you? How can people be a part of what your movement is or what you're building? You have to be able to communicate. And to the question, Bush, pitch competitions is the way we have built our company today. I'm not saying that's the best thing, but that's our story. That's what we've been able to do. And just by showing up at these competitions, it allowed for it and afforded us other opportunities.
Now, how did you learn, and how did you get yourself into those rooms? Was there someone that introduced you into pitch competition, or was that something that, you did your homework, you did your YouTube University or Google University? And how was your experience on your first pitch? Like, how was the experience like?
Because Kiley too, because even today, you always send me, I get your emails on different grants that are coming up. Money's that's on the table. Like, I think you're one of the best people that I know that always are in the loop of to where you're always sending me things of where somebody can go get money. Where can somebody go apply? Like, I get what, five a week minimum of places where you find to go get money. And I think, again, that's where people got to understand, hey, look, it shouldn't be an issue. You just got to go get it. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, look, it started out just like, hey, I'm researching pitch competitions in Houston or pitch competitions national pitch competitions. Or then I started to think about brands that I wanted to partner and work with. They sponsor different pitch competitions. I want to do something with MasterCard. I want to do something with Visa. I want to do something with Northwest Mutual, Capital One. They sponsor these things. So when you're at home, in the bed, you know what I'm saying, trying to go to sleep, you know, you're on Facebook scrolling, you're on Instagram scrolling, TikTok. Stop that. Start the research pitch competitions. And literally that's what I was doing. And that's how we got into the first one. And so once you get into one, you're like, okay, I want to do more. But then you start to get on the distribution list for these different entities and these institutions. And instead of you doing the outreach, they sending them to you. Or people saying, hey, Kiley, I saw you on stage in Houston. I think this would be a good pitch competition for you. And it's in LA. And so, and it just kind of snowballed like that. And so to what Bush just mentioned, because I get so many and I can't be in all of them, my company is not just fit for all of them, and I'm not going to win all of them. And I'm spreading the wealth. I want other people to take part in it. And I can tell you about 10 companies in Houston, good friends of mine. We swept Houston. We've been on national pitch competition stages, i.e. Afrotech. Like we was on Afrotech stage in 2019, I think it was, that we was on Afrotech stage. And I'm not saying this braggadocious, by no means. Please don't take it as that. What I'm saying is we just took the liberty and the time to look up these free money pitch competitions to help build our business, because we didn't have no other choice. Nobody was writing us those checks from that $288 billion. We had to go get it. And that is a part of that founder's DNA that Bush mentioned, and trying to keep the lights on, right? It ain't being cush. Don't get it twisted. We still grinding for real. And so I just want to make sure that I level set that respectfully for all of you out there, that it's not going to be easy. Every business is not meant for a pitch competition. But I'm gonna say this, Bush. So yeah, we did the whole pitch competitions, free money, and we was able to win. But there's other things that you could consider too, and they are called incubators or accelerators. And
talk to us.
These may not be free in terms of grants. They may require a little bit of equity, right? So you may have to give 2.5%, 5%, 7% of your business in exchange for $50, $100, $250,000, right? That's in a form of what they call a convertible note. Just understand, it's an investment. They own part of your business. But those are minute when you think about what you're trying to build. A lot of people say, man, I ain't giving the equity away. Would you rather own 100% of a grape or 3% of a watermelon? You figure that out. You know, I can't tell you what you want to own, but you got to have the mindset. If you're trying to grow, your hands got to be open and out in order for you to receive some of the things that are out there for you. Networks get you in front of some of those people, those decision makers, or you just being a dog, as Deion Sanders say, you just being a dog and you just putting your name in the hat. Oprah Winfrey said this, and I'll shut up. She said, if you're good, people will find you.
They sure will. Amen. That is so true.
Absolutely.
Now, what was your experience on your first one? How did you feel?
Look, I did all that. I didn't even answer your question. My bad, Abby. Thank you for bringing it back.
Okay. So I'm so excited about pitching my first, my first startup. I like, what was the experience like? Were you nervous? How did the audience receive it?
Yes. So let me just get straight to the answer. I was nervous as hell. And look, my wife, man, God bless her, preparing, Bush know my wife, right? Preparing for this pitch competition. I told my wife, oh, babe, I'm good. I know the business. I know what I want. I know what I want to say, right? Not what I'm going to say. I know what I want to say. It's a difference.
That's a huge difference.
And so she's, as I'm practicing, I'm in the mirror, boom, boom, boom. She was like, why don't you write it down? And I was like, ding, the light bulb went off. I said, write it down? Okay, what does that look like? Man, I got these 3x5 flashcard index cards, and I started to write out my pitch. Thank God for my wife. Thank God that I followed her advice. When I got on that stage, you talk about being nervous. It was like, poof, the lights were on. Like you don't see nothing. Your throat dry up. You know what I'm saying? Like you got that hard swallow, and it's like you got 5 minutes to deliver this thing. When you gonna start? The practice using those flashcards, having it written down, it made it muscle memory. Now I was a little bit slower delivering it, but I was hitting my points. So yes, I was nervous, but because I had it written down and I had rehearsed it, and I'm saying the same thing over and over and over again, it made it quite easier to kind of settle in and present it to the audience, especially being my first time. And I wasn't up there, all crazy looking. And I go back and look at it from time to time. But thank you for the question because it brings back so many memories. But yeah, that was my experience in my first pitch competition.
Man, that's what's up.
Is it hard to find investors?
Yes and no. In the investor world is out there, right? I mean, there's a lot of up and coming, what they call emerging investors, emerging investors coming up, right now, and those are newer investors that directly invest into high risk startup companies, like maybe all of us online. But there are some established firms, Andreessen Horowitz, Blackstone. It's a lot of them that are out there that have been made. Everybody in Silicon Valley, all them investors, they invested in the Facebook, the Instagrams, the internet when it first started. So they're recycling money, and so there's a lot of investors out there. But depending on your appetite, your industry, your vertical, your stage, there's so many different ways you can dice it up. You have to understand your market and your industry to find the right investor for you. VCs, it's hard to get them in this day and age to invest in an idea on a napkin, particularly for people that look like us. It just ain't happen. You have to be a second, a third, or fourth time founder in order to get that privilege. And so typically you got to go through what they call angel networks, meaning high net worth individuals that have that disposable income, that make over $200,000 a year, $300,000 as a couple, or $500,000 in assets, in order for them to write you a check, because the government want to make sure that you don't put somebody obviously in the hole if that company bellies up, right? And then another way is it's not GoFundMe, it's Indiegogo. You may have heard of that, crowdfunding platforms. These platforms allow you to ask money from people that may invest $20 or $25, $50, $100 into your project, into your startup. So the buffet of investors has definitely developed over time. President Obama, when he was in office, he created that kind of the Reg F, I believe, or to allow some of that to happen. So
the Reg D offering.
Reg D, there you go. So that is available for everyone to do. Now it's not easy. It's expensive because you got to market to folks, right? So if you're trying to raise $50,000 from 1,000 people, like you got to go find those people, because you may have to touch 10,000 people before you get 1,000 people to invest. You know what I'm saying? So it's just mindset to think about, and it costs money to market for those crowdfunding platforms.
I did invite a couple of startups, individuals, to the show tonight. What advice would you have for them that are working on their first startup, that are the motivation, is not quite there yet, or struggling? What advice would you have for them, Kiley?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. So look, let's get to it. Business is about a transaction. Somebody paying for something that you created, right? That you have, right? Is that product or is that service? That's business. As simple as that, right? So if you're stuck, or if you're just beginning, I would say sell, build, market. Meaning, go get your customer first. Sell your idea, sell your product before it's even finished.
Yeah.
If you want to sell black shirts, go sell it online right now. Right? Go see if you can get 100 people to buy your black shirt before you even make it. Don't make that shirt and then sell it. It's too late.
It's too late.
Sell it, build it, and then market it.
Perfect.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one piece of advice that I would tell you. The other piece of advice I would say, and this is me talking to my younger self as a part of that group that you mentioned, right? Because
come on,
again, I didn't have no, I didn't have this. But I would also think about unit economics. You gotta know your numbers.
Yeah.
If the shirt costs $10 to make, you can't sell it for $15.
Yeah.
You can't.
Your margin is too low, because if you think about wholesaling, you got to pay for that. What about return? Like, it's like you gotta in selling products, you gotta at least sell that thing for double.
Yeah.
If it's gonna cost you 10 to make, you guys at least sell it for 20.
Yeah.
And
I think that's still the journey of entrepreneurship too, right? As a business. I mean, so every I don't think as much as you want to kind of cut out all the noise, you want to be able to cut out all the failures. But at the same time, those learning experience in the beginning is what you need that's really going to build your company, right? And again, it goes hand in hand. Of course, you don't want to have to always be, learning on your own. That's where mentorship, coaching, things that what we're doing here on YouTube now is important. But nothing is going to take away you getting down deep and you just starting, right, and not trying to get everything perfect, like you said. Like, we got to go make it happen. But then once you do, knowing your numbers is so critical for you staying in business. Right. So you can build a business. And I think that part is huge.
If I can say this real quick, it was a candle company. Y'all. Look, they just selling candles.
Yeah.
But they wasn't even selling candles yet. They put up this web page, a click-through website. Everybody know what a click-through website is. Meaning, hey, I can, it's a website. If you got 5 candles on it, I can click on the red candle, click on the blue candle. I can put it in my cart and I can hit purchase. Well, they had this click-through website, and they was allowing people to click through and put things in a cart. But when people went to go pay, they said out of stock. And this website started to pick up traffic. They was getting hits after hits, but it was sold out. It was sold out. This company never sold one candle and sold the business. They never sold a candle and sold the business. So my point of around selling first, build, then market
it. What we do first is we build it, and then we market it, then we sell it.
Too late.
Too late. I got it. I got you.
Absolutely. Good stuff.
Let me see. Now, Ron, he said, talk about MVP.
I didn't know what they meant by
MVP.
Oh, minimum valuable product, right? It is the essential thing that you need. Just ugly. It's the ugly baby that nobody gonna call it ugly, but it's ugly, right? but it works, right? You know what I'm saying? It may not have all. I told a friend it's the bike versus the Bentley, right? We always want to build the Bentley out the gate, but we ain't got the resources, don't have the experience. We just don't have it all, right?
Yeah, you got to build that.
Bike. You know what I'm saying? Right? It's okay if you fall off that bike. It's okay if the wheel blow out, but it's the bike, and you're getting traction, your movement. So MVPs are so important because it's proof points to the market that you have a product that is needed. And if people buy that thing, if people have interest in that thing, look, guess what you can do? You can go from that bike maybe to an electric scooter. You know what I'm saying? Now you can move and you can start to incorporate new features, new aspects to build it out to where you want to go. MVPs are important. They're important for a lot of things because you can get customers with MVP. It's hard. Let me ask you this. if somebody said, hey, I want to sell you this house, but it was on a piece of paper. Oh, this is the house. You know what I'm saying? It's all colorful. It's beautiful. You're like, well, do you have a model of it? Can I touch it? How big is it? Can I put my couch in there with my kid? And let's say when they build that thing, it's 500 square feet. But I thought I was going because you couldn't touch it and feel it and see it created a different experience. But when you walk in that same house that you saw on paper, you're like, oh yeah, this is it right here. It brings a different level of experience to the customer, to the audience, to that market that you're trying to develop. So MVPs, although they may be humble beginnings, it may be ugly to you, be proud of that thing. Sell that unique value proposition, just like it was a Bentley, although it's a bike. Because the more ways that you show that you're passionate about it, that you care about it, you love what you're doing, you're going to get everything and more from the audience and the people that you're in front of.
Yeah, that story is so important, right? I mean, that's one thing you learn, for me as an advisor, that story selling is probably one of the biggest things that you can learn in business, right? And, again, everybody that has a business, you can't get away from selling, right? Anybody, a lot of people can make a product. Everybody can build a company or build a product that has an idea, but you got to be able to say, hey, look, I got to put feet on the ground. I got to go sell it. I got to go offer it. I got to go tell my story every single day as much as I can to as many people to now we can have that compound effect, or I guess no cliche, that snowball effect like we're talking about earlier, right? Paying off debt to get that to the next level. So, man, this is awesome, Kiley. I thank you for all that.
Oh, no worries. Hey, look, it's a couple of things I want people to think about, because oftentimes when we build a business, we always think we got to have a fresh new idea ain't nobody thought about. Yeah. Damon John got a saying, ain't nothing new under the sun, right? Somebody else may have said it too, but I often hear him say that. It's nothing new under the sun. That is 1,000% true. Think about the longest street or the most busiest street in your neighborhood or in your community. Everybody got it? Right? For us in Houston, it's Westheimer. Westheimer is probably one of the longest streets in Houston. If you drive down that street for 10 minutes, you'll probably pass through 5 hamburger joints, 15 pizza places, you know what I'm saying? 20 gas stations. What am I saying? It is okay to create another product that's in the marketplace.
Yeah.
It's enough room in this economy
for everybody
for you to survive, for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's not, and even if I had a startup SpenDebt, right? As an owner, right? As a distributor, we're not the same people, and people buy from who they like, right? So Christopher may be providing the same service I provide, but everyone loves Chris. So everyone buy from Chris. So I agree with that 1,000%. People will say, oh, too many people doing that. But too many people is not you.
Yeah.
Right. Too many people is not you. Those people are not you. So absolutely, if you guys have an idea that that's been in your mind to start doing, or even the business you currently doing, this is an amazing opportunity. When people tell me there's a lot of money out there, it's just not going to come to you. You got to go look for those for those money. It's not going to come knock on your door and just sit right on your desk. You got to get those scholarships. You got to apply for those. You got to actually go out there and get it. Right. This was so good. Thank you so much, Kiley.
Come on.
Look,
I know some of us gonna be. Listen, how do we link up with you?
Y'all can find me on all social medias at Kiley Summers. I'm really active on LinkedIn and Facebook. Kiley Summers on LinkedIn and Facebook. You can follow SpenDebt on Facebook and LinkedIn. If you on Instagram, you can find us at ITS_SpenDebt. Again, ITS_SpenDebt. And we would love for you to follow us. We would love you even more if you became a customer. The first 30 days are free. Test the product out. See if it works for you. See if it fits your lifestyle. And if you have any questions, any opportunities, man, reach out to me. I would love to, have a conversation with you, figure out how to help. It's ITS_SPE.
SPE. Okay.
Here's your Kiley Summers for LinkedIn and Facebook, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
And then you can put
But yeah, we want to support anybody and everybody who's wanting to get their financial house in order. I'm gonna tell you this, and I didn't say this part of it, but it could be for somebody out there. Look, I lost my dad to a massive stroke in 2014. He had a stroke July 14, 2014. He died 30 days later, August 14, 2014. Because I became or was becoming debt free, I told you it unlocked me the opportunity to become an entrepreneur. But not only did it do that, it allowed for me to become physically healthy. Bush knows this. I'm not a bodybuilder by no stretch of the imagination, but because I lost my dad, I always want to do something to honor him. It gave me more time to work on my physical appearance. And so I became physically healthy. Not only that, I became mentally healthy, right? I wasn't working for the things that I owned, right? Because either I sold them off, paid them off, whatever, right? And another thing, I became spiritually healthy. Levick in the comments, he said, shout out to the Book of E Classic, because I said there's nothing new under the sun. Sound like a Bible believer. I'm a man of faith. I'm a husband. I'm a father. And those things are important. Again, I lost my dad to a massive stroke. And so I'm trying to do my best to work on my health, physically, work on my mental health, being an entrepreneur, being a father, being a husband, and then also spiritually, making sure that we in the word, right? Because the word never returns back void. And God has been so good. If I can leave lasting words to everyone on this web cast tonight, this evening, is Hebrews 11:6. Hebrews 11:6. It is impossible. It is impossible to please God without faith.
Come on now.
It's impossible to please God without faith. I don't know who that's for, but it's for somebody on this call. Take the step. Start that business. Write that idea in your head on paper. Develop your pitch on those index cards. Get in the mirror. Say that thing, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 2 minutes. And go tell your circle. Go tell your friends. Go tell some strangers. But it's not about what you see. It's about what you desire to see.
That's it.
I appreciate the opportunity to be before the audience tonight, and thank you for the invitation.
Gotcha.
I'll be to share my story.
Man, I thank you for being on. I know I was on the plane just thinking about what the show was going to be about, because Abby texted me. You know me, I'm got to think about the show idea, right? And I was just thinking about debt. I had some videos that I was going to show and kind of walk through some scenarios and just go through it. But I'm really glad that it was put on my spirit to give you a call. Literally, I was trying to get the internet up right before we took off to even text you and stuff. So I definitely appreciate you, Kiley. And man, I thank you for your friendship, for you and your wife, man. And we got big things to do going forward. So this is just the beginning. So we got to make it happen.
Amen.
And thank you for benediction.
It is Wednesday. We got to have church, right?
Bible study. Thank you so much for benediction. And I absolutely, I hope you guys really, I know I got a lot, and I'm excited to link with you, and know that, guys, everyone that we bring into this show is so you guys can actually create and build your network. This is a network. Your network is your network. So start linking up with these people as we bring them into the stage. Hey, Kiley, God bless you, your family, your wife, your children. And I always believe that, as an entrepreneur, as a business, right? Our business is our ministry. So I truly believe that SpenDebt will help a lot of people, and definitely excited of sending some of our clients that I've been doing these budgets for.
Send them over, huh?
I need to y'all should have seen how much I was on my phone. The budget that we went over last week.
Yeah.
Just go to SpenDebt. Go just spend that.
That's it.
And we won't have to worry about this. Okay.
All right, now.
I love this. Thank you again, Kiley. Thank you again, Chris, for bringing Kiley in.
Yep.
And thank you guys for showing up tonight. We will definitely see you guys next week. And let's do it. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for showing up on the episode of Redline. I'm Abby Joseph.
I'm Christopher Bush.
And you have Kiley.
Oh, I'm Kiley. I messed it up. My bad. My bad.
You gotta get the flow.
Yeah, my bad.
It's okay, Kiley. Welcome. Kiley's a cousin now. So you guys make sure you guys give your shout out to Kylan. Share this video, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.
Bye. Take care. Yeah.